Chung and Naya aim to electronically assess compliance with an oral asthma medication. Methodology: the sample in the study consisted of 47 asthmatic patients, both male and female, aged 18 to 55. All had a history of asthma. An initial screening period of 2 to 3 weeks was then followed by a 12-week treatment period during which patients took asthma medication twice a day. Tablets were dispensed in screw-top bottles which had been fitted with a TrackCap medication event monitoring system, MEMS. This system recorded the date and time each time that the cap was removed and replaced. The instructions on the bottle/outer carton read, "Take 1 tablet in the morning and 1 tablet in the evening approximately 12 hours apart. Do not take the tablets at meal times." Patients were also told to remove a tablet and replace the cap quickly due to tablets being sensitive to moisture. Each removal of the track cap was presumed to indicate a single medication use event. If the cap was removed multiple times during a very short period, then the device would recognize this, but would not record the multiple openings. If the bottle was left open for 15 or more minutes, then the device would record one additional event. Patients were not required to keep diaries about their treatment, and were not questioned about tablet counts, nor was it discussed in their presence. All participants gave consent to be part of the research, but they did not know that the electronic monitoring device was attached to the medication bottle. This was to avoid bias. Dependent variables were 1 tablet count, number of dispensed tablets minus the number of returned tablets, 2 track cap compliance, number of events divided by number of prescribed tablets. Results: 80% compliance was measured for the track cap and 89% compliance for the tablet count. This difference could be accounted for by patients taking out more than 1 tablet at a time. This could be because they lost medication, or were trying to hide non-compliance by removing tablets, or simply that it was easier to remove them in one go, yet they still complied with the treatment regimen. The track cap data suggested that one participant removed a whole week's worth in one go. This might have been to put them in a weekly medication dispenser, so that they could keep track of whether they had taken their tablet. 64% of participants had full adherence on the track cap, 2 tablets, 12 hours apart. 20% showed under compliance, 1 event a day, only 1 tablet, and 10% showed no compliance for up to 8 days. Conclusion: medication event monitoring systems such as TrackCap can be effective in measuring compliance. Evaluating Chung and Naya, 2000. A weakness of the study is that there were ethical issues that were not resolved despite the study receiving ethical approval. For example, participants were deceived as to how they were being monitored, and it is not clear whether the participants were fully debriefed at the end of the study. This type of deception may have caused the participants upset/distress. Another weakness of this study was that participants may have been showing demand characteristics. Rates for adherence were high for this study. However, participants were made aware that their adherence would be measured. Further research would benefit from a double-blind study where participants were not aware that their adherence was being measured to gain a more accurate understanding of to what degree patients do comply under normal circumstances. One strength, however, was that it was a useful study to measure adherence. For example, by measuring adherence remotely using the TrackCap, researchers were able to measure adherence with minimal disruption to the patients' lives. As their adherence was measured at their own homes, when they would normally take their medication, the study is also high in ecological validity. Another strength is that compared to self-reports and interviews, electronic monitoring is an objective and quantitative analysis of adherence to medical advice. For example, although there is a chance the participants could cheat the system, this was far less than in self-reports, where social desirability bias may make them overestimate their adherence. This makes the results of the study more valid.